So I'm Des,
I'm Nathan.
and we run a management company called Euphoria Group. So we look after a guy called Ryan, a young kid called Ryan, another one called Gerald Jacobs. We also look after a singer-songwriter called Emma V, and she's also a producer and also Plum as well. Let me say how I first found out about the seminar. It was actually because of one of my mates, Hussein. He literally went and messaged me about a week before because he went to Westminster University, and he said, "Oh yeah, Des, there's a music seminar about like just music in general. I think it'd be really good for you guys to go, like for you to go anyway." And at that time, Nathan and I had just said that we were going to be embarking on this musical journey, but didn't really quite understand what it is that we were doing. So I said, "Yeah, mate, you might as well just sign online and whatnot, and then we'll go." And so, to be fair, I'm not going to lie to you, I did not have a Scooby what this seminar was going to be about, but it was something music related, and that was what we wanted to do, so we went and turned up. And I was blown away. I honestly didn't realize how much of an impact that it actually has had on our careers and our musical careers as budding managers. And yeah, it's kind of been a bit crazy since then.
And no, to add to it, I didn't have a clue with regards to how the music industry was set up. I imagined it to be a lot more chaotic behind the scenes than what is perceived outside. I thought there were a lot more boogeymen. You know, it's one of the mysteries that it's a bit of a drag, and you're not sure of what or who you're going to speak to. But in essence, it's just normal people. You know, it's normal people that aspire to get somewhere creatively. People have aspirations to either be behind the camera or in front of the camera, and we quickly found out that it's not going to be as simple as having a song or two as well. You know, there's a lot of time, dedication. You've got to kind of motivate yourself every day, because it's a lot of knockbacks before you reach anywhere substantial. And if you're lucky, yeah, you probably do have a bit of a story to sit down and then say, you know, look at what we've become, so to say. So yeah.
You know what? Our earliest experience was funny. So I remember walking in and being sat literally right by the entrance as you walked in, because you don't really want to sit at the front because you'll be too eager, but you don't want to sit at the back because otherwise you won't hear anything. And so yeah, we sat right in the middle, and no word of a lie, I remember being sat there and saying to Nathan, "Guess who's behind us? Do you know who's behind us?" And Nathan was like, "No." I was like, "That's Darkest. That's Darkest behind us. Who's Darkest? He's the head of like Island." And then Nathan was like, "Oh, okay then." He didn't even know who Island were. And so I was like,
"What,
"Oh,
Jamaica?"
Cool." Yeah. And then I thought, okay, then that's cool. And then I remember seeing another guy sit in front of me, and I thought, hold on, I know who that is. That's Tim. That's Mr. Blacksmith. I was like, this is random. And and the funny thing was, nobody around us knew who they were. Absolutely no one. They were just sat there in the audience, just listening in. And I remember then you must have said, so I'd like to invite to the stage Darkest. And the person who was sat next to him was like, "Oh my gosh, he was the one who was." I was
surreal.
It was so surreal.
It was surreal.
Really, really surreal.
The whole experience from, as Desmond said, from the beginning, you know, being able to sit in and obviously the way the seminar was presented made it easier for someone like myself, you know, greatly so. You've kind of dissected the lawyers to the managers, then you've got A&Rs, and so you've got several panels behind each other. And for someone like myself who's quite ignorant to music at this time, I didn't know the roles even of these people, of what type of, you know, part they played within the music industry. I just thought it maybe is one guy you speak to and he gets everything done, to tell you the truth. So that for me was a massive help, because I was then able to identify, you know, who plays what, and possibly where do I fit into this, or how can I fit into this. And it was a real eye-opener to hear some of the stories with regards to where these guys got to where they are, respectfully so. And one point did stick out to me. I remember Colin Barlow was on the panel at the time, and how I, you know, first perceived the music industry to possibly be, his story was as close to my thoughts as possible. And at that point, I began to make a bit of sense of, okay, so you've got, you know, Sony, and you have Sony RCA, you have Columbia, and I'm not ashamed to to admit, I was a professional footballer at the time, and that was what I was doing. So I didn't really know much about the different departments of music. So no, I was grateful for it in that respect.
Well, for starters, it gave us hope. It literally did. I mean, and I think that is really, really useful, because you meet so many people in the industry, and before going into the seminar, as I said, we didn't have a Scooby of who we knew, what we knew, or anything. And to be able to see that these guys are just normal, everyday folk who just happen to be in a career working in a career that they love, that was enough for us. And for me, I think that was it. It really did start the passion for it. If anything, I already had the passion, but it ignited it even more to make it seem as if the dreams that we had were possible, and that they were achievable. And so that's how it proved useful.
And to add to that, I think going to the seminar and being amongst other aspiring musicians or talents, I think is definitely it's for me. That's probably I still have a lot of friends from the first seminar, the few that I did introduce myself to, and the few that I did happen to meet. And for me, it's they've played a massive part in possibly in the success that we've had today. And whether it be from playing a piano to playing a drum to engineering a track,
to even shooting a video.
Yeah. These guys were our contacts and our friends at the first original seminar, and we are grateful for it, because as Des said, it does give you hope, and it gives you something to look forward to as well, because what you probably feel like you've missed out on the year before, no doubt the following year, which it did, you're then upgraded with regards to probably how fast the industry has moved on, and where you sit at this current time in the industry as well. And it's a bit of eye opener, and sometimes you do go to a seminar, you might think to yourself, Jesus Christ, I've got to do so much more. But I quite like to live with reality, and I like to know the harder thing possible first, and once that's achieved, then for me it's game on, because for me, I never ever would mistake work for an opportunity. I think that's a mistake if you do that. Especially in this business, you can find yourself left out for quite some time. At every point in time in this business, it's an opportunity. Don't ever see it as work.
Yeah.
Do not ever see it as work, because most people don't like going to work. Most people hate their jobs. So if you view it as that, then it is a tough fight. And even when you do possibly get yourself into certain doors, it still is tough. So like I said, the seminar was great, and it made you understand the reality of the business for sure.
Yeah. Like Kwame always says, at the beginning of every seminar, people who got up and was able to come to this seminar have earned themselves £10,000 worth of knowledge. Now, we went to the seminar 3 years, and so that's £30,000 of knowledge that we've gained. Like, we're going from that, times that by 2, so that's £60,000 worth of knowledge. Yeah. And best believe we've been using that knowledge. I'm not going to lie about that. And because of that, just being able to, I don't even know. Why wouldn't you? I mean, if there's an opportunity to learn, and okay, everybody has their ideas of how the music industry works, and I suppose nowadays, because it's so easily, readily available for people to make music on their laptop, on their computers, then be able to promote it via YouTube, via SoundCloud, all these different platforms. But then that's just a small percentage of it. And the seminar really does open you up to the realities of what the music industry is. Because the industry is a massive machine, and everybody plays a part. And okay, fair enough, you may have this idea, this independent mentality that it's okay to do everything yourself, but then there are some people who can do things better than you, and you can't be ashamed to admit that sometimes you need extra help.
More to the music, I think history repeats itself, and I'm of the opinion that music is going back to where it started. I think the days of
microwave music is over. I think people are now starting to get tired of that, and they really are wanting to listen to real music and real songs. Like, I think the time of the songwriter, I'm not saying that they've is been away, but I think that they're going to be even more important now than more than ever.
Yeah.
And people want to hear real music.
I just do hope that music and real music lives a long time and it continues to impact our lives as well as they do, you know.
My name is Des, and I'm a graduate of the Ultimate Seminar.
My name is Nathan and I'm a proud graduate of the Ultimate Seminar.
Definitely come through to this year's seminar because I definitely benefited from it, and I no doubt know that you guys will as well.
I would advise and strongly advise that you get your butts down to the seminar. As I said, if it's something you're taking quite seriously, albeit that is music, it's the place to be. And even when it starts going well for you, continue coming, remain humble, and keep doing the right things in that respect.